So, formally welcome to you, Harshil, to a webinar masterclass brought to you by the Wellinger Institute of Management and Yangpo Executive Education. So, today's Harshil, the webinar, let me introduce you to the audiences. These are our students who are doing a post graduation program in media and entertainment at Wellinger. There are a lot of students who are prospective students who are going to take admissions for the incoming academic year, and also who have already taken admission. So that is one set of students who want to make careers in the world of media entertainment. We also have our entrepreneurship students from Wellinger within an 11-month postgrad program on family businesses and entrepreneurship. So
Right.
those students are also excited to really know your journey as a media entrepreneur. So
Sure.
this is one set of people. We also have a lot of academicians from across the country, faculty members, principals, and people who are involved in the media entertainment space and education, and of course working executives. You
Right.
being so popular, there are a lot of working professionals who are here to hear to you from the industry. So this is the set of people who are doing this. My name is Dr. Samir Karkhanis, and I represent the Yangpo Executive Education, a global edutech company. So now let me formally introduce you friends to the young dynamic Harshil here. And Harshil is not new to the media, entertainment, advertising, digital circuit. He is a Bombay boy, done his BMM from the Jai Hind College. Like most of you are BMM students, I can see from the data. He is built up amazing companies. Okay, he started as working as a trainee from a company like Dentsu, now then co-founded a company like Foxymoron, and now one of the finest integrated agency, which is Shabang, right? They do work with the popular brands, whether it is in the cosmetic segments from a Nykaa to probably he's worked on L'Oreal and Nature Basket, Raymond. So he has worked across products and categories and brand. And the beauty, friends, here is that Harshil has worked across platforms. So it's not only that he is doing SEO, SEM in digital, and he doesn't understand the video and the OTT and the new age. So they are a very integrated agency. Many of you all have, I understand, done internships with them in the past, and you all have been following what Shabang does and what Harshil has been doing. Is very active on a lot of social media platforms. You will see a lot of his videos going around and people getting inspired from that. So Harshil, formally welcome to you
Thank you.
in on
Thank you for
this
such a nice
webinar,
introduction.
and let's have an exciting next 45 minutes with our students and academic friends in this.
Definitely.
Yeah. So probably to start with, Harshil, I purposely introduced you a little less so that you can tell us about your journey, how you started all of this, and how have you been through academically, then as an employee, and now as a CEO and entrepreneur.
Right. Okay. So I'll first admit that I have been an employee for a very short period of time, maybe 1 month. I've always been an
Oh,
intern. So I've always been an intern. I was in BMM like many of your our viewer friends here. So I was in BMM in Jai Hind College, and at that point in time, I think we were pretty lucky because the BMM courses, for some reason, they would be from 7 in the morning to 11:12 in the morning. So what I knew is that I needed to make sure that I spent the remaining part of my day wisely. So pretty much from 1 o'clock to 9 o'clock, I had for 3 years I had three different internships. And so the all 3 years I worked with different companies as an intern. And for a period of about 8 months, because I also really enjoy the performing arts, so there was a period in the monsoon where the Malhar Festival and the Kaleidoscope Festival were there, and we have to be a part of that. So I used to perform in that. But apart from that, pretty much the whole year I would have had a internship. So that's where my exposure to communication and the communication and media business actually happened. My first internship was with a company called Dentsu, which is you had Vivek Bhargav here, so he's the head of Dan's digital business. But before Dan was Dentsu Aegis Network, it was Dentsu, pure Japanese company
yes.
run by Sandeep Goyal in India, and I used to do an internship there in the advertising agency. So there I had some interesting lessons, and I think those lessons still hold true today. So if you are going into the advertising and media business, the main thing, I would say rather in the advertising business, the main thing in the advertising business is craft on art and copy. So just how well you can write and how well, because essentially the communication experts who are hired they're hired for one reason. How can you say what you need to say better than what anybody else can say? So there, I think, to their credit, Dentsu had this whole stack of advertising books and advertising magazines, and I used to just spend most of my day working through that. And kabhi kabar agar kaam mila, so you would write that. But about 8 months I spent there, and it taught me a lot in terms of how a structure of a service-led communications company should function. I was also observing some of the mistakes, because I was seeing that one department is bickering about the other department. So I said that someday I will try to change this in what I want to do. And second year, I had an internship with a company which was making a city of Bombay filled with Vimax boxes. So a company called Lifestyle Networks, offshoot of a company called Sadhana Nitrochemicals. And they had bought these Vimax boxes, and then I think Jio has taken over, and they kind of do they kind of now I think Vimax as a technology is also obsolete. But what that taught me at that time, Facebook had just about come in. So my job in that company was basically you have to put a Vimax box on the top of a building for free. So let's say you stay in where do you stay?
Ashok Gardens, Parel.
So in Ashok Garden, I had to convince you to put your Vimax box in Ashok Garden Terrace for free. So I started a Facebook group called I want all of Mumbai to have free wireless internet. I started a Facebook group called that, and lots of people joined that group. And everybody who joined that group, I said, if you guys want free internet, please call me. So so I said okay, and then they called me. And when they called me, I said, I'll give you free internet for 2 years. I just need you to talk to your society guy and let me put this box. So then that way we started this structure where we put boxes across a lot of the city. It helped me understand the technical part of it. And third year I was with Rajiv Bingra, who is from Watt Consult, and he used to run a blog at the time called wattblog.com. So that time he used to write and blog about the things in the technology space, in the advertising space, and how it's fusing together. So I was a writer in his blog, and I used to do about 6 to 8 articles every day. So I had to research what's happening online, write the articles, and that also taught me a lot in terms of knowledge. What is it that one requires when one is trying to get into this business of web and technology. So that's where my journey started of my internship, and I think those were the and of course with college, BMM is a good course, and you learn that along with practical experience. It taught me a good few amount of things. So that's where my journey actually started. Those are
Rajiv also happens to be my alumni at the Wellington Institute of Management in one of our advertising programs.
Absolutely, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So what did you do after your graduation then?
So Rajiv offered me a job after my graduation, and after he offered me a job, I basically he offered me a job, and he offered me a job for in his company. His company was at Kolaba at the time, and then he had to change what he was doing for some time. So he moved his office, and exactly for 1 month I went to his other office, and then I said that I got to try to branch out on my own. And there were these 3 other guys who were I saw on Facebook that these 3 guys have just set up this company called Foxymoron, and Foxymoron was doing the business that they were doing was t-shirt printing, basically.
Yes.
And some print and brochure design. So I went and pitched to them saying, guys, bring me on board, because we need to go digital, and digital is the future. I'll make you a pitch. So I pitched to them for I worked 4 nights, built this presentation, pitched to them, and I was then quickly on board as a partner in that company.
Wow.
So yeah, that's where then I set up Foxymoron with these 4 guys. I led the digital operations. We grew to a good team of about 250 odd people, and then I said that I've got to get out of this, because maybe for me at the time the partnership of the 4 of us wasn't working in equilibrium. Okay. So I said, okay, fine. We've done a good job. We've scaled a decent company. I have my learnings. Let me try and venture out and build not just a digital but this entire integrated setup, and that's where Shebang basically came into place.
So now how many years are you running Shebang?
We are 5 years into the business. We are a team of about 350 people between Bombay and Bangalore, like yourself. Wow. We are so team of 350 people serving about 100 plus clients. We cater to the top end of the the top end of the spectrum in terms of companies of 1,000 crore plus turnover in India. And we are, our vision, actually, my vision is that I would like to take Shebang as the Indian-born entity that goes from India to all over the world. So my business is, as you know about my business, we have the Japanese like the Densus and the Hokai Hodos. We have the French like the Publicis and the Havas. We have the Britishers like the WPP. We have the Americans like the Omnicom. Chinese are making some inroads, but we have no Indians, and we Indians are supposed to be best at communications.
Absolutely.
And we have no global entity. So I want to see us as that. That's what occupies my mind every day, and that's what I'm working on, basically, to try and take this company from India to all over the world and bring the best of the world back into India. That's my focus.
Wow. So also as a strategy for design, is it that you look at actively to acquire global clients? That's a part of our strategy.
Well, at the moment we serve Indian customers heavily, and we have a very good mix of multinational customers who are based in India. But at now, over the last 4 to 5 years, we have been winning their trust on quality work.
Yes.
We have also been getting recognition from their global offices. So now we are now reaching out to the global offices. You can send us some work. So actually, in this lockdown, we just won a contract with Procter & Gamble in the Middle East. So that was a big win for us. We got something from Castrol in Vietnam. So that's good. And now we are building some material to build a Shebang global hub, which we would like to go out to. The other big opportunity I see is that there's a lot of Indian managers in multinationals who are running the companies for multinationals outside India. You know them well.
Completely.
I went for a trip to Malaysia, and I went to Kimberly Clark. Head is Indian.
Yes.
Head is Indian. L'Oreal, head is Indian.
Exxon Mobil, your competitor, Castrol competitor, Exxon, Indian, Singapore.
Exactly. So you have the Indians who are working there, running the executive level roles and the marketing level roles.
Yes.
So we just basically are now trying to use that as a platform to say that we are trying to build this first Indian entity that goes all over the world. Be our friends, be our support. We'll give you the best service at a great cost.
Fantastic.
And you also, sorry, I'm keeping on talking. Sorry.
No, please.
But one thing that you said, how is the pandemic? I think this lockdown and the pandemic. So pandemic is bad, but lockdown is good in the sense that it has allowed us to say we can work remotely.
Yes.
So I could be easily serving now across 5 more services than I thought before, customers in other parts of the world.
Yes, completely. Because in a normal day, you would be routinely doing what is needed to serve the business. This gives you a chance.
Right.
So, Harshal, typically, what does a company like yours do? So, which means what are the different divisions where these students who look at a career a few years down the line in this space, what are the various divisions, probably as an example, Shebang does, and what is the role of CEO like you? How do you spend your day?
Sure.
How things happen. So which are the verticals which the students tomorrow make it to,
Got it. So I'll try to answer the first question. That's more important, I think, for the students watching.
Yes.
So I'm going to try and be a little slow with this so it just sinks in clearly. One is we have what we call the integrated solution structure. In very simple words, these are the guys who find the solutions for the clients. So they are supposed to understand the problems. They are supposed to dissect the problems. And they're supposed to find a framework for that solution. So let's say a company says that, I am a professional hair services company, new professional hair color company, new into the market. I would like to grow in tier 2 towns, and I would like to have an image which is like this, and I would like to, hit a customer which is like this. So assimilating the business problem, really defining the business problem, and then saying this is what the business problem is task 1 of the solutions strategist.
Okay.
And task 2 of the solution strategist is to then work with so they're kind of like consultants. They're working to find those problems, and they are the generalists working with the specialists in the rest of the company to solve the client's problem. I'll come to the other members of the company, but essentially this is the central hub. The people who are watching here who may be generalists.
Yes.
Or people who may say that I have an ability to grasp problems and do problem solving.
Yes.
They would fit into something like this.
This role. Okay.
This role is also like a dual role in that sense. So we expect 2 skills from these guys. One is they should be able to problem solve. So understand the problem, dissect the problem, and solve for that problem. The second is we expect them to be good writers. So
Writers, okay.
yes,
So thinkers also, because they need to think, research, and write.
correct,
Okay.
correct. So I mean, if you just if you just go to our Instagram on Shebang,
Okay.
so you'll see some of the work that's put out there. What this business is about craft and copywriting. So
Okay.
one, I strongly believe that I mean, actually they say in in philosophy they say that there's thoughts, words, and actions, right? So actually, company is basically intent. The thought is what the client gives us. The words is what we deliver, and the words then energize the rest of the ecosystem, which is the consumer, the stakeholder, the distributor, the salesman. Those words then energize action. So writing those right words which fit the problem is very, very critical.
Yes.
So that's that's the one skill set. So the solutions skill set is one skill set, which is the problem solving and the writing. You may be more tuned towards problem solving, you may be more tuned towards writing.
Yes.
That's fine. But both those skills kind of need to be there somewhere, the left brain and the right brain.
Okay. Sure.
So that's one. Within that department, we also hire designers. So designers who are multi-purpose designers who do graphic design, who do visual design, who do edits, who do multimedia design. We spoke on the webinar which we were on together about how the designer is not just about Photoshop but also about After Effects, about Premiere Pro. So putting all those softwares together to create a multimedia output is what the designer is also hired within this integrated solution setup.
Okay.
So there's the thinker, writer, there's the designer, and then there's the the creative. So we hire the creative. Basically, these guys are purely creative minded guys who want to express themselves, who want to once the problem is put in front of them, they will come up with they will be like what Piyush Pandey was for Fevicol.
Yes, so, solutions. Okay.
So they are the creative guys within the integrated solution setup. So within integrated solutions, there's the generalists, there's the designers, and then there is the creative guys.
Okay.
So that's one cluster.
Okay.
So that's one. The second cluster is the cluster of media planning and buying. So you have, I think this is well spoken about by many of your guests earlier.
Yes.
So I think, those who would have gone to Vivek's webinar, they would have got a lot from this in terms of the media planning, the media buying, the media strategy. So those are the three people that we hire. The buyer is essentially somebody who needs to have very strong technical skills, needs to have coding skills, needs to be able to program workflows and journeys, needs to be able to use digital software to create, consumer buckets, remarketing pools, so on and so forth. So that's the buyer. The planner is essentially use tools to identify what's the sharpest audience we can target, which this customer needs to hit. And then the strategist is basically kind of working in between them to put the problem together. So much like that generalist in the solutions bucket. So this guy, media solutions, is like a media extension of the strategist. Then we've got a technical function where we have, project managers. And I think, again, these are generalists, the project managers. But these project managers who essentially they work with, so the project manager, but these are generalists who are more technically inclined. So if you feel like you are somebody who's a generalist but has a very strong inclination towards technology, then this is another, this technical team, technical project manager is very, very strong. Another sort of role in the technical team which is coming together is somebody who can work well with CRM, who can work well with softwares like HubSpot, who can work well with softwares like Reply.io, who can work well with softwares like Zoho. Basically integrate those workflows into the website so that there's a high amount of automation with respect to workflows. So that's the technical side where you have the project manager and you have the sort of the CRM manager, if you
or the analytics guy also is a part of this, a data analyst guy is a part of this.
Yeah, so the CRM guy often also has a very deep data understanding.
Okay, sure.
So that's the second part. And in the technical team, we also have UI UX designers, so people who can design interfaces, and then we have the front end coders and the back end coders. I don't know if you'll have too many coders here, so I will not spend much time.
This will be more of the business guys, the management guys who understand business of the clients, work with you and work in various segments to give solutions. So typically what you are saying is correct, but and they I think now we'll also slowly have to take skills which you are mentioning,
Right,
because the work and the profiles are changing. It looks very clearly in companies.
right, right. And uh, yeah, actually, some people are asking here about how do we get in touch for a job. So I'm just putting the email ID.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, the other thing is, actually, before I go ahead, what we are also releasing in a week's time, we are releasing a creative open door to come get
Okay.
hired with Shebang. So we have a
Wow.
creative test which will be put on our Instagram. If students
Super.
would like to get hired, they basically come, fill up the creative test, and
Okay.
we will be hiring approximately 40 people.
Super.
So if they're great writers. Actually, this creative test is mainly for writers who have a great flair for writing.
There for writing.
So that's something that we'll be opening up in a week's time on Shebang Instagram. So if anybody would like to get hired immediately, that's like a fast track hiring that we are starting. But
Super.
also I've listed down the email IDs in the chat.
Super. We will also pass on your link to the entire country, the student communities which are associated with this. Fantastic.
Right.
Sure. Sure.
Uh,
Yeah.
Dr. Samir, can I just get 1 second? There seems to be somebody who's calling me again and again.
Yeah, sure, sure.
If I
Please,
can-
you. Why not? Why not? We'll hold on. Yeah, sure.
मैं अभी बिजी हूँ मैं थोड़ा टाइम में कॉल करता हूँ sorry
Yeah.
so we spoke about the generalist solutions, we spoke about the technical, we spoke about the media.
Yes.
The fourth critical function is motion pictures. So this is video essentially. And at Shebang we look at motion pictures in two ways. One is that most of the content is required from a perspective of most of the content today, 70% of all content consumed online is a video content.
Yes.
So brands wanting to create video content, brands wanting to create video ads, brands wanting to create corporate AVs, brands wanting to create explainer video material, brands wanting to create training modules online. So all of those things is what you see a motion pictures department undertake. So if you are we have a YouTube channel where you can see, if you just put on YouTube Shebang, you'll be able to see the different diversity of content, right from a television commercials to an explainer video to a meme based video to a Q&A based video to a corporate AV. All of that is covered by the motion pictures department.
Okay.
So that is so in the motion pictures department, what we hire producers. So the producers are essentially specialists on creating video, and they get the brief from these solutions guys.
Okay.
I spoke about first. Solutions guys and creative guys say, we got to make this video. So the producer then puts together a team, which is a director, post producer, puts together the actors and gives a nice treatment to this entire project, and then delivers the project to the end customer. So producer is that generalist profile. Some of you may want to be directors, so we also hire directors in-house, which are who work on these different pieces of advertising content.
Okay.
So somebody's asking what are the skills for motion pictures. One is this producer, and the producer is a very I would say producer is also a very good generalist.
Yes,
producer has a deep understanding of what it takes for motion pictures. They have a really good flair for making motion pictures come alive, and they have a keen sense of lighting, they have a keen sense of storytelling, they have a keen sense of cinematography. They understand all these things, even though they may not be a cinematographer or a lighting person or a director, but they have a keen appreciation for that. So people who are more in that space, who have had a film studying and who have done a bit of work on sets, and they feel like that's where they belong, that's those are the guys who are the producers. Of course the producers also deal with the end clients, and they work with the clients to deliver the end product. They manage the changes effectively, so that's what the producer does. The director is really focused on bringing out the creative output. So have we chosen that this ad for Fevicol, we need to say पकड़े रहना छोड़ना नहीं, और वो कितने सेकंड के लिए क्या इमोशन के साथ वो पकड़े रहना छोड़ना नहीं, वो कैसे आएगा, that is what the director is going to dictate. So director is that. Then there's a very interesting profile called the agency producer, who essentially is a new role that has come in agency run production houses. So agency run production houses essentially, we have it in such a way where agency run production houses are it's the agency, the creative guys who talk to the film guys. So the agency producer is a conduit between the agency guys and the film guys, saying, he's basically a project manager again, trying to manage the entire workload. And then there's the post team who is, highly specialized in After Effects or highly specialized in Premiere Pro or a combination of both very often, who basically work on bringing out creative outputs. And I see that as a big service that India can export in the next few years, about, highly skilled storytelling on post production. So that is a big, area which is coming up as well. So, that's on the motion pictures department. So these are the four key services that we put. There are some other services as well. There is a data science and data analytics department, which is not linked alone to media. So data science and data analytics, we do this service called marketing mix modeling and regression analytics, where essentially what we, marketing mix modeling is using regression analytics as the base to be able to tell companies that, from the money that you are spending, what money is actually yielding to sales and what tactics are yielding to sales and what tactics are not. So it's really big data analysis on the same, using deep multivariate regression to be able to work on that. So some of those reports and designing those structures is another upcoming area. And actually, if you think about it, actually the first four parts are what is fueling growth for the company, because fueling growth for my customer, our number one principle is client's business wins, we win. So I have to ensure that we fuel growth for the customer, and marketing traditionally over the last 200 years has always led to fueling of growth. And this other part of data, big data, is what are the inefficiencies that I can weed out which are stalling growth. So that's the that's the marketing function. The big data function. And then there's one more function, which is what we call the consumer centricity and branding function. So this is more about researchers. So the researchers who essentially do consumer research to try to understand what consumers are feeling about a particular product. So they do things like asset testing, ad testing. They do surveys with consumers. They do what are consumer mindsets for a particular product. So if you have a cooking oil, then what is that woman who's buying cooking oil? What are some of her doubts? What are some of her concerns? And what's the place that a brand can hold? Or when it comes to nutrition, if a brand is playing in the space of nutrition, is health important? Is taste important? What is important for the consumer, and why? So really digging out those insights is what we call consumer centricity. And for branding, we have approximately a 60-step process in terms of what we take to build a new brand. So a lot of
completely new brand.
Yeah. So a lot of startups who want to do a new branding exercise, they come to us at Shebang. To sort of build what we can build in terms of them a new brand identity. So that's the other thing that is there. We also have a team which is highly specialized on social work. So we call that team Shebang Do Good. So they work only with the non-governmental enterprises and foundations. And
not for profits.
Yeah. So they work with them to help them get their goals reached faster. But it's kind of like what the solutions guys do, but in a do good sense. And and then there's one wing, last wing which does influencer management and celebrity, finding the right celebrity structures for clients. So today, while media planning and buying I spoke about, clients invest money in Facebook, YouTube, TV, print, but they also invest a lot of money in celebrities and influencers. So consult with the customer to say that this is the celebrity you should hire, or this is the influencer you should hire, and here is how you can kind of work with them.
So there are some teams or executives who work across the functions also to manage the relationship.
Yes, absolutely. So it's the solution strategists who work across functions. So
across
the functions that we spoke about.
So in fact, as I was hearing you and the way you explained how the entire thing is getting integrated, exactly is what we have been doing at Wellinkers. The program, Harshil, in 11 months, it covers 11 different verticals, from celebrity management to digital to rural marketing to sports to branding to public relation and production. Because
Right.
we also exactly believe that the days of super specialization will not remain. An executive will have to know a lot of things, how the client looks at it or what services, and then he may select a thing of his choice, and the students
Right.
who we attract also are either the BMM kind of audience, BCom students who want to make a career in the business part of media and entertainment.
So,
So if
Dr.
you,
Samir, I'll just add one point here that
yeah,
I think my belief on this is that we've got to have a few who are the generalists, the jack of all,
yes,
master of some,
yes,
and you also got to have the deep specialists. So,
correct,
like a production, you need to have those people who are deep specialists, technical deep specialists.
filmmakers and all of those.
But
True,
those teams are smaller. The generalists
smaller.
are
So
larger,
true,
and
because
of course, as and when those businesses grow, those teams also start becoming larger. So,
start becoming. So because what happens, when business schools, when we draw programs, now we look at the industry, so the who is acquiring the talent. So many of the recruiters who come to us are also, maybe a Yashraj Films
right,
or Ogilvy or probably somebody who is a client, for a product manager or a brand manager profile or a Reliance Geo Studio who is doing for client solutioning.
right,
So we try to give in 11 months an entire package to the student and then allow him to decide what is his future for the next 10 years.
right, absolutely,
So with this kind of a logic, now what typically these students and young executives should now look at, at one stage now it's all a game about elimination. So they
right,
need to upgrade beyond the BCom, BSc and BMMs.
right.
So what do people do? See, one route is internships, which you learn a lot, which probably I would also request you if you just give some more insights on how one looks at internships. Should they do really free internships? What is the future of work from home internships? And what actually as a junior should I look at when I do look at an internship?
So, do you want me to take the internship one first?
Internship first, yeah, because that's usually a big thing about students. What to do internships.
Right. So, Dr. Samir, my sense would be, like I started my, chat with you that I learned a lot during
Do
my
internships.
So, I would be a great advocate of internships.
Great.
I think it gives just being in the environment, just being part of the workflow, gives you a lot of grasping in terms of this is what's going on. I think your other point was, it comes to a point of elimination. So that was a very, very valid point that you raised. That when I'm seeing this internship, I know and I can sense this is what I like, this is what I don't like. So then in that, I think internship is an avenue for you to kind of gauge what you like and then further deep dive into that. So that's how I would look at internships. And to your other comment about work from home internships, I think that for example, we, even after the lockdown is over and after the virus is eradicated and a vaccine is found, we are pretty certain that, our office will work 3 days in the office, 2 days at home.
Wow.
So I think that, so that's an official policy that we are announcing very shortly to our entire team. And I think that even work from home internships, just being part of the workflow, because now you'll be part of more video calls, you'll be more part of, being part of the project management softwares, you'll see what's going on. I think it's certainly valid to be even do digital internships. The advantage is you don't have to waste time spending traveling.
Yes.
And of course, if you're doing if you're doing a work from home internship, even if it's post the lockdown, in the lockdown, of course, it's not possible, but in the post the lockdown, tell the company that, I'll do this internship. I may be doing free or subsidized internship, but I need to come to the office once or twice a week to gauge the environment. Because in an internship, while company is doing your service, you also doing the company a service, and it's critical for you to evaluate and understand and get to know. I think also, I like how you did it. For example, you are very forthright and straightforward. We were on one panel, immediately you messaged me saying, I want you here. So I think, I think what people can learn from your forthrightness on that skill is the company you are in, list down all your questions, go and have a sit down with all the senior people in the company, one-on-one if you may, and learn, understand, ask them questions, because that is how you will grow and learn.
And we also would encourage students to do.
Of course, you are at that stalwart level also, you reached out. So I think that is what, people have to learn from you, that just be forthright, straightforward, get it done.
You see, knowledge is available. We have to ask for it.
Yeah.
and then share it with everybody. That's what, and there is where the initiative comes. And we are encouraging students like your days in BMM. Today also the colleges get over by 12:31. So you have really a lot of time to utilize it fruitfully during your college days.
Right,
That.
right.
And then the second question, what kind of skills one requires into getting into a media digital agency, and then what kind of qualifications should one look at, to get into this industry? What do you all as industry veterans look at from a person?
Right. So I think first and foremost, the skills or qualifications depend on whether you want to be generalist or specialist.
Okay.
So we went through the whole. So if you want to be specialist, then you need specific technical skill or production skill, writing skill, or you need a specific data skill. So those are the specialists. For the generalist, we would recommend, I think we are open to exploring some people who are straight out of college. But we do a rigorous testing in terms of how we test their thinking and their thought process, and their strategic thinking. And, certainly with programs like yours, if you're giving them so much exposure, then we hope that people come into the labor market well. And certainly I'm sure they would be. So for the generalist role, like the solutions role, we typically expect a degree like a MBA or a bachelor's. And at the same time, what's an added for us is always a 1 year of experience, because that ensures that they have I think what we find lacking is the maturity in thinking sometimes. And I think that, so maybe if you've done 3 internships, then you don't need that 1 year.
You're sorted. Yes. True. So there are some. Before we really take questions now, I wanted to know personally, how does a CEO in a digital media branding company spend his day? So how you do, because there are students, as I said, from the entrepreneurship program also who would like to know.
Right. So I think how I have tried to structure myself is, I am fortunate that we have a very good team which looks after our clients well. So I look after our team. I mean, in a nutshell, my day goes essentially in thinking and obsessing over how I can take over this team and how I can take care of this team. So a lot of my time is spent on really putting growth targets, growth vision, as we want to try and do this India to the world outlay. So right now, one thing that's currently occupying me is that we need to be a double of our team size. So we need to be about 700 people in 1.5 years' time. So we have to do 700 people in 1.5 years' time. We need that much more business coming in. So how do we get that business? How do I work with my business development team to say, go out and chase that business? How do I work with departments to say that upgrade your services this way, and get rid of this excess fat in your service? So how do I observe the work and get rid of that? How do I work with my recruitment team to say that we got to have the best talent coming into this company? So constantly refine your testing procedures, make it easier to get hired, but at the same time easier logistically to get hired, but more difficult mentally to get hired. So that's the focus that we are trying to put. Then how do I work with my internal processes team to ensure that our company workflows are very strong? Right now we are working on building an application called Shebang app, which is essentially an internal collaboration application where people can chat with each other, get each other's numbers, they get surveys on that, they get through their training on that. So we're also doing a lot of work on an internal training and development. So how do we upskill people within the company? We've just launched a program in the company where anybody in the company can become a trainer and can get paid to train. So it's a interesting program where, if I build a module, then I get paid X rupees. If I train the module, I get paid X rupees. And if I, digitize that module, I get paid another X rupees. So that's the scheme that we have put out for our 350 people, because I think training is training has to happen continuously. It can't happen one person's responsibility. So that's another thing that, focus is, that's my attention on focus. And I mean, that's a little bit about what I try to do. And then of course, try to celebrate and, get into the best work that we are doing. So if some of the work it comes my way, because my inbox is filled with all the client ideas. So I just try to see some of that and challenge them back, saying, hey, I think this idea works, this idea doesn't work. And the Shebang brand is my brand, if you may. So it's what I spend most of my time building.
Wow.
And the last but not the least, of course, the most important thing is the financial aspect and the cash flow management.
Correct.
So I spend a lot of the part of my week on analyzing our cash situation, making sure that it's healthy. I work with our finance team and CFO to make sure that the measures are all in control, and that we are setting the right targets for growth, because we have to we are fortunate that we have grown very well last few years, 5 years that we've been in existence. We got the Financial Times Asia Pacific Growth Champions title.
Yes, I saw those awards. Yes.
Yeah, so we're in the
Yeah.
400, 450 top fastest growing companies in entire Asia Pacific region. So, how to
Fantastic.
maintain that growth is what we are, that's a lot of, that's what takes my time.
Also, again, a question for Harshil, the entrepreneur. So, how do you help clients to grow their businesses?
Right.
What do you do to grow your own business for Shebang?
So, I think all of the things that I spoke to you about through this,
Okay.
in terms of the services that we added, I think the main thing I try to do is I try to listen to my clients in terms of what will help their business grow. Because
Okay.
number one principle, again, if client's business wins, I win. So
Yes.
I have to hear, my ears are mainly to try to understand what are my clients' challenges. If I can
Wow.
fuel growth for them, I can fuel growth for myself. I mean, that's a simple one-line answer, if I may.
Okay. But
So
also, you do some kind of business development work or branding strategy for
absolutely,
Shebang?
absolutely. So
Okay.
I mean, actually, I sometimes I get a good opportunity to be with good people like you. So this is a branding opportunity for my recruitment.
Sure.
Same way
Yes,
for
absolutely.
same way for our new business. As we, I think what we try to do is we are. I think I'm proud to say that we are one of the most well followed agency setups on Instagram. So we have about close to
Wow.
40,000 odd followers on Instagram. People follow our work. Clients follow the work. They share the work. We participate in award shows. So for business development, fortunately, from day one, we've always had inbound queries. I think what
Okay.
we focus on, and I think this is a big
Great.
lesson. The big lesson is that you focus on marketing and sales happens. So
Yes.
so we focus more on marketing. We focus more on telling our story, telling our brand story, telling how we do the work. And we have lots of videos on our YouTube channel which talk about different case studies, which talk about different uh, you know uh, different ways in which we work, our culture. So that marketing is what attracts the sales, because and then we have a strong business development team, about 5 people who sort of look after all the business development. And I think the other big lesson that I've had is that, and I think you know this better than me, but there are groups. So there is a group like ITC, there's a group like Godrej. So you get into one brand and you do well for them, the next two will come to you. So
Correct.
I think the strategy of our business development has been that get into clustered companies, not individual companies.
Okay. We do for our Yangpo practice, we do exactly this. We go to the group CHRO
Right.
and try to get into the group. And once the benefits start accruing the other divisions, then the finance team will ask and everybody will ask. So true. Perfect.
Absolutely.
Great. So Harshil, I will just, you can also have a look. Let's take some questions from here. I have tried to consolidate most of them, but probably we can have a look which, we can answer a few.
Right. So the first one was about journalism.
Yeah,
Do
so
journalists
communication, journalism, and Copcom, that is put together. They want to know what is the future for that, and
Right.
also little more emphasize if you can put, because I am getting inquiries in Wellinger also from companies for technical writers.
Right. Right.
You also mentioned something in the beginning.
Correct.
Uh, yeah, and so probably you can answer a question putting together all the three or four. How does the future of public relation, Copcom, and digital journalism looks like to you? That is what these guys are asking.
Right. Right. So I think actually for PR, I will go back to one very interesting conversation that I had with a gentleman called Mr. Madan Behel. He's a
Of
stalwart in
course.
the industry of PR.
Yeah,
The biggest homegrown success with respect to PR, Ad Factors PR, and
they
really,
are they are Wellinker's PR agency.
yeah. So they are legend, if you may.
Yeah. Madan
And
and Chaturvedi.
one thing which he said really stood out for me as a PR person. What you are is you
Okay.
are an advocate or a lawyer for the company to represent the company navigating the outside world. So you tell your story to the outside world, and you systemize the story, you present the facts, and you tell that story to the outside world. So I thought that analogy was very, very strong. Whether it's PR, whether it's digital PR, whether it's celebrity management. I think, I would like to give one example here. Recently, Godrej expert Rich Creme, hair color,
Hair color.
did a fantastic PR move. If you saw their work with Karan Johar, of course, Karan Johar is facing some backlash right now, but his hair was going great, and they basically hired him. They paid him a good amount of money to hire him to color his hair with Godrej expert Rich Creme. Godrej expert Rich Creme, and it was a completely organic activity. So it looked like a completely organic activity. Karan Johar came, he said, this is what it is. The number of PR articles that Godrej expert got from that one activity was close to 200,000 articles.
Wow.
So, Godrej expert, really what they did, they placed the product, they told their story, they presented as advocates their story to the rest of the world in this interesting way, saying this is a simple do-it-yourself hair color. And they pick somebody like Karan Johar. They saw that there was an activity where everybody's talking about his gray hair, so they seized that opportunity and they leveraged it. So, I mean, that is one way where you can be an advocate for a product. Then, of course, for an enterprise, being an advocate is very, very different. And that's a very refined skill. So I think maybe I am not the right person to answer that, to be honest, because I have not done as much corporate PR.
Yes.
And I think maybe somebody in Adfactors is a good person to answer that.
Sure.
But I think broadly, if I can comment on corporate PR, then
communication as a piece,
Yeah. So corporate PR, the lesson that I have on corporate PR is that corporate PR is consistently about maintaining good relations with all the stakeholders that matter. So it's not about maintaining the relation when you need to, because जब भी आपको गरज है, तभी अगर आप किसी के पास जाओगे, so you will not be able to solve the crisis. But if consistently a company like Aditya Birla Group is maintaining good relations with the Wellingkar Institute, maintaining a good relation with the Times of India, maintaining good relations with the Hindustan Times, so on and so forth. Like I know that a lot of chairmen, the chairman of large companies, they do things like they of course big people. They have things like farms, so they grow their mangoes and they will send Dr. Samir Karkhanis a mango during summer period to say that Dr. Samir, मैं Aditya Birla Group हूँ, and we care about you. So it's a small gestures that is what corporate brand is also about. So I think if that excites you, this idea of maintaining relations and really systemizing and telling the story, then PR is a good field. The question about do journalists have a good future in the media field? I think yes and no. I mean, sorry, not a no. I think no skill has not a good future. But I would say that for a journalist, if you observe the top PR professionals, they have been journalists for about 5 to 10 years because they understand the psyche of a journalist. So I would say if you're working as a journalist, work first as a journalist, understand how a journalist minds think, and then come over to PR if you feel that that is your calling. And that is what we see as the really the framework in the PR profession. Of course, also for journalists, there are a lot of new media careers. So you have platforms like Humans of Bombay who are hiring journalists and writers. You have platforms like Poop, BuzzFeed, so those guys or Better Indian. You have those platforms also who are hiring journalists. Of course, there's the traditional media platforms as well, but print it seems to be on a little bit of the decline,
Decline.
So I think journalists who do multimedia well, they have a good future with digital platforms. So I think, that's where journalists have a good future with respect to content creation. But if you're a journalist who wants to come into marketing, then this corporate communications PR has a good future. And celebrity management, I would say, is a completely different animal. I think if you speak to celebrity managers, they will tell you, the first thing they will tell you is that celebrities are obsessed with themselves. And, so you need to have a very high tolerance for, if I may use a word, nonsense, you may have to have a lot of high tolerance for that. But at the same time, a celebrity manager, you have to love your client. So you have to be able to show him that this is what I can make you bigger than Shah Rukh Khan, and this is how I'm going to do it, and work day in, day out to do that. So celebrity management is a different animal. So I hope I was able to give a little bit of perspective on all those matters.
Yes. So in fact, on celebrity, Harshal, your I think your net is low.
Oh, is it?
No, the photo is freezed. Yeah, now it's good. Yeah.
Okay.
So on the celebrity management piece, also I would like to tell our listeners, कि celebrity management, other than loving the client, you also need to understand his persona, his business journey. You need to be very, very good in business management skills, in financial skills, and managing multiple partners, because everything you are doing on behalf of the celebrity. So
Right.
you are handling his personal handles through a digital agency, you are fixing his schedules, you are also negotiating many a times for his business deals. So it's an absolute business profile with a very high quotient of patience and tolerance put together. So it's a very reformed business job now for professional celebrity managers. So a lot of
Correct.
the students in our program turn up becoming celebrity manager. First they start working with a Yashraj production or a Dharma or 20th Century. They start knowing the celebrities there, and then they, after a film also, they shift to the other side. So we have seen those trends, but these are business jobs. They
Yeah.
are
No,
hardcore
very well
negotiation
put. I missed
jobs.
that. So my bad, I missed that,
Yeah.
but I think you put it very well.
Yeah, because now it's not anymore that you are fixing the diary for the celebrity. You are managing his entire calendar, his dealing with his personal banker, to dealing with his, the negotiation for the advertising brands. So all of those. So that's a great field actually to be in, celebrity
Absolutely.
management.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now they are not, and celebrities have grown beyond just film stars and actors to now sportsmen to politicians to chairmen of companies are celebrities today.
Yeah. And also they are
So
floating
all
those.
of them need services.
No, also they are. I think
Yeah.
a very interesting piece in celebrity management is a lot of celebrities are now floating their own brands. So Virat Kohli is one
Yes.
eight, and
Virat is doing
so
it.
so you get to
Deepika did it.
absolutely. So you get to give birth to a
Yes.
business, if you may.
Yes. So it's a business role. In fact, now CEOs and MDs and chairmen of companies are also celebrities, and they hire people like this who
Hmm.
will manage their social media piece and all the entire persona. So this is a great field of celebrity management. Also, Harshil, probably you can throw some light, because there is one big segment which is booming of the lines of the esports, e-exhibition, Dream 11 kind of companies. And OTT is one segment where youngsters usually have a good inclination to grow, and since those lines are growing,
Right.
there will be jobs, and so
Right.
if jobs, then there will be some skills needed. So if you can just throw, because you worked on those brands that way.
Right. So I think my understanding or my experience on OTT as well as e-product companies. Uh,
E-products, yeah.
I think what I see is that a lot of jobs are opening up with respect to specific clusters within it. So, for example, in Amazon, they may hire somebody to be a cluster of uh, arts and craft. On when we go to Amazon, you see so many categories. You
Yes.
have one category manager, one for personal care, one for beauty, one for arts and craft, one for XYZ. So that's in e-commerce. Similarly, for
Yes.
things like OTTs, you will be hired for one cluster. So you'll be hired for like Hollywood, or you'll be hired for locally produced
Prime.
content, so on and so forth. So really, you then become a business owner or a business manager of that function. Uh, and same,
Like in FMCG, how we had product managers,
yes,
how in FMCG businesses we had a product manager.
correct, correct, absolutely.
Wow. Okay, and that is now happening here.
Yeah, yeah.
I see.
So they own those PNLs basically then.
They're PNL guys, so business guys.
Yeah,
But I think a difference here in the media entertainment industry is about your passion and liking also, because it's a creative field put together with business.
yeah,
It's
absolutely,
that way it could be a little different.
absolutely. So I think that's what we see, because for example, there's some clients I interact with Amazon Prime, for example, and some of them are really focused. They have been given the PNL of original cluster, original content cluster, and so we do some
Okay.
marketing services for them, and you
Okay.
see that they have a high amount of passion, not just for marketing the service, but they are great consumers of original content themselves. And they are
Wow.
well entrenched with the actors, well entrenched with the directors. Sorry, am I audible or am I stuck again?
Yeah, yeah, you are.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So yeah, absolutely. I think what you say is absolutely right.
I think I think media entertainment is one field where you have a great opportunity to pursue your passion and convert it into a revenue generating profession.
Absolutely.
I think that's the this thing. So
Right.
probably a last question, Harshil, to you. You know, as a CEO and as a leader, what is that new skill which you have learnt in this 3 months of lockdown in terms of learning something new? You know, some upgrade yourself to stay relevant in this changing time. So,
Right.
what did you
Right.
learn?
So I have actually learned. If so, I'll try to answer this in two ways. One is a specific skill, and one is the generalist stuff. Um,
Sure.
I'll answer the generalist first. I think I can make a lot more use of my time, and I think I have learned so many new things with respect to the fact that I can run an e-training module for my entire company. Training doesn't need to be physical, even inside the company. And so this this training module that I was speaking about, where everybody can get paid to teach and learn. That's a outcome of that. Uh, the second
Yes.
thing I've learned is that culture of a company need not be permeated to the offices, but needs to be also on digital inside the workplace, and that's why I'm working on the application which we are building, the Shebang application. So those are some of the generalist understandings, and as a result of those generalist understandings, I've learned a little bit about how app ecosystem works, how to build your own app, how to use things like Google Classroom, how to use things like Google Data Studio. So those are the hard skills that I've learned, and these are some of the soft skills.
So, in fact, just to add on what you are saying about the training thing, each one teach one kind of a model, that is exactly the future of education, where we democratize the complete education process. Billions of learners and millions of teachers,
Right.
each one teaching each one. That is the future, which absolutely you are on the right track. Education knowledge cannot be anybody's single proprietary thing. It has to be democratized, and you are on the track on that.
Absolutely.
So, Harshil, thank you very, very much for this insightful session. On behalf of the Wellinger Institute of Management and Yanko, we are really grateful to you to give so much time, being so open to create opportunities for the student community to apply to you and have a chance to learn from you. So we will remain in touch, and we will try to work together how we can help the students as a community.
Definitely.
Harshil.
Thank you for
Yeah,
having me.
thank you very much.
For
And
enriching and very interesting
yeah,
conversation, and
and
covering up some of my
students,
points where
thank you very much for spending your time. Yeah, and in fact, I must also tell you before you even I conclude, this has been, Harshil, one of the sessions where you have really gone into the depth and explained what actually happens for the employee, and how the work generally is done, very micro and divisions. It gives a very clear idea to the students what they can expect in a company which is of your type and nature. Yeah. So thank you very
thank,
much for your time, Harshil.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's be in touch. Thank
Yes.
you.